Leia, you got me on my knees, Leia. Woo! Begging, darling, please, Leia. Sexy. Darling, won't you ease my worried mind? Woo! Bam, bam, bam. What's up, guys? This is the gospel. According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just gonna take a little time. Alright, guys, to tell you what's on my mind. Alright, what's happening, guys? Listen, I want to share a little story with you, and this story is by the one, the only, the out of this world, the mighty, mighty Ichibaka. And I saw this the other day, and I felt like it needed a little bit of amplification, because the implications of the emancipation of the masturbation is quite devastation to your mind and your body, baby. But anyway, yeah, this is by Ichibaka, and I thought that it was quite interesting, and I want to talk about it because it made me raise an eyebrow, right? And it's talking about Carrie Fisher and how she was quite vocal about how she felt the new movies were projecting and portraying Leia, Princess Leia, and how she might have been dissatisfied with that. And I feel like it's very important for that to be known, now that the lovely Carrie Fisher is no longer with us. This is important, guys, because I feel like the original characters, the original actors, were exploited. That's how I feel. I feel they were probably just as exploited as us OG fans, so it's important that we know how these people felt, because of course they were under contract, all types of gag orders, and quite frankly, they were professionals. So I'm sure they didn't want to, rock the boat or anything like that. And, I think that it's important for us, because as we go forward and we hold these people more accountable for their product, and we hold them to a higher standard, I think this helps us to put it in perspective, exactly what it is that we're fighting for. So Ichibaka wrote this article on bleedingfool.com, and I'm going to help to pass it along here. And he says here, Carrie Fisher was bothered by Leia's portrayal in the Disney trilogy. All right, this is by our friend Itchy, and he goes on to say, Carrie Fisher was, quote, uncomfortable with the depiction of Leia in the Disney trilogy. That's according to her own words during a podcast interview in 2015, shortly after her appearance at Celebration Anaheim in 2015. At least that's what the description under the podcast says. Although the podcast itself indicates that it's about 3 years old, which would place it around 2018. So who knows when it was recorded? Oh, let me turn that down. Hold on, guys. Okay, yeah. Although the podcast itself indicates that it's 3 years old, which would place it around 2018. So who knows when it was recorded and uploaded. But the EU.com article cites April 2015. But one thing is clear, she's talking about the Disney trilogy and Leia's role in it. You can listen to the podcast here. The relevant bits start at about the 1:30 mark. And of course, I'm going to leave the link to this in the comment section. You guys can check it out yourselves. I suggest you do. You can hear it in her voice. I listened to it earlier. All right, here's what she said. The EU or the EU questionnaire is saying, before this, is Leia a character that you had kind of resigned to the past, that you were sure you were done with? Carrie Fisher says, I can't. And she laughs. It's me. I'm the custodian of Leia. I keep her in my bag. I just love that way of thinking, guys. See, this is everything that's missing, with this new so-called Star Wars. And so many other things too. There's no joy in what these people are doing. As much as Harrison Ford criticizes Star Wars and kind of demeans the role of Han Solo, I liked when he was doing, when Alden Ehrenreich was doing press, for Solo. And Harrison Ford comes in and says, what are you doing in my life? You know what I mean? And he kind of sounded to me like he had a little bit of, like ownership, and, like with the character and with, Han Solo, you know what I mean? And he's looking at this new kid playing him, and you can't tell me he's not feeling some kind of way, you know what I mean? like these characters, they belong to these people. They're so identified as them. The same thing with Mark Hamill. He loves Luke Skywalker. He embodies so much of him. It's hard to tell where Mark Hamill ends and Luke begins, I'm sure, as it is with the rest of us. So Carrie Fisher says I'm the custodian of Leia. I keep her in my bag. The question, you're a novelist, a screenwriter, playwright. Did you ever try to change what she says or how she's portrayed? Carrie Fisher says, I do have a reaction to what they write for me, and that has to be a certain way or I'm uncomfortable. In one of the drafts, in one of the sequels, I said, I don't think I'm right for the part. Could you imagine that? Carrie Fisher is saying, I don't think I'm right to be playing this character of Leia. All right, just the same way that Mark Hamill had his moment when he said, I'm surprised that you see Luke this way. You know what I mean? Like I said before, even Harrison Ford, I believe him wanting to kill Han Solo didn't have so much to do with him hating the character as it did with him feeling like it would be a natural thing for this character to die at this point. For him to go on any further, he couldn't really envision what would be next for Han. You know what I mean? That's not to disrespect anyone, you know, who was involved with the expanded universe or anything like that. I'm just saying I think that's where Harrison Ford more was coming from, more than I just want to kill this horrible character. I just think that he saw his arc, and you can understand, he saw his arc coming from a scoundrel to someone who has found a cause, to someone who has found the love of his life. That's a pretty damn fucking good story arc, you know what I mean? So perhaps Harrison Ford, just speculation, okay? Perhaps he was thinking to himself, well, this is good for this character. This is good for Han. You know, now he would be at peace with him dying. You know, he wants him to die at this point because he's had his perfect arc. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, Carrie Fisher says, I don't think I'm right for the part. The questionnaire for the new movie, Carrie Fisher says, it could be anywhere. She gives a look that suggests she doesn't want to specify. See, she doesn't want to actually say, it wasn't what I thought Leia should be. It didn't feel like her, like me. But it's a combination. I've become that. She's become me, and I've become her. Go ahead, Carrie Fisher. She is I, and I am she. That's what I'm talking about. See, that's that mentality, guys. Because it's been a while, and people call me that. They go, Leia, and I go like this, sweetly, eyes fluttering. Yes. And she laughs. What do they think I'm going to do? So in addition to Mark Hamill, there was another actor who was uncomfortable with the portrayal of their legacy character. This brings to mind the time that Carrie called Rian Johnson an asshole. And I'm pretty sure that wasn't the first time that she did that. And he ends up by saying maybe she wasn't joking. All right, Ichibaka, rock on. All right, and thank you for that. This is something that everybody should be talking about. Like I said before, as we reject what Disney has done with the legacy characters, there could be no better persuasion, you know, in the way we feel about this than looking at the way Mark Hamill felt, by looking at the way Carrie Fisher felt, by considering the way Harrison Ford just wanted to be done with it, you know, and all of the other characters that we have heard from, you know, the legacy characters. It seems like nobody has a good story to tell. You know, nobody seems to have had a good time with this, and that's what's missing. You know, you can actually sense it because none of the new characters seem to be very much invested in this. They seem to be very much ready to leave it behind. But here we deal with characters here or actors here who have made this a part of them, who's made it a part of their lives in much the same way that we have. And this is the reason why we love them so. So Carrie Fisher, I want to say, I want to wish Carrie Fisher to rest in peace. And I think having this truth out there might just help with that. So pass it on as you will, guys. And get in the comment section and let me know how you feel about that. Do you feel that it's relevant? Do you feel it means something? Or, you know, am I making too much out of it? You can let me know. And as always, guys, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe, and thank you for doing that, guys. Thank you so much. And when you do subscribe, please hit the notification bell and hit like so that you get all notifications. As always, you can catch me on Twitter. I will be there. And there's a PayPal, so consider that too. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I will catch you guys on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.